Hey guys, it's your girl Miss Brittany M.
And DC.
And if you guys are literally living under a rock, no, just kidding. If you guys follow us on Instagram at Miss Brittany M.
At Darren A. Craft.
Then you all know that our house is almost done being built. We are beyond excited, and we have been, well, I know for me, I've been dying to bring you guys along this journey. It's been months, to be honest. Our new home, our first home, is almost finished getting built from the ground up, and we just got our closing date, and we're just so excited, and we're just so proud and
ready, excited. Everything.
And so we did want to sit down and just give you guys like an update and just take it a step back and rewind a couple months back and just tell you guys a little bit about the journey of how the heck we have been keeping this in for the past couple months. So you started off, baby dad.
So we always knew that we were gonna, move out eventually. We came here to save some money, to just get ready to prepare for the baby. So
yeah, he's right. So when I was about 3 months pregnant, DC decided to go ahead and move in here with me, and he was very clear that by the time the baby was 1 year old, we were going to be in our own home. And up until this point, everything that DC has said he was going to do, he's done it. Literally everything. So even though he said it, I just didn't think he was serious, because I'm like, oh, we're about to be new parents. We're in a pandemic. We just got engaged. We need to plan a wedding. We're both in school. But he was adamant. And obviously he wasn't playing, and he did it. And so this was none of my doing. So I'm not going to take any credit right now.
You helped. You helped look for the house.
I don't think so. So go ahead and tell them.
So like you said before, I've always lived on my own since I graduated high school. So it was just only right. And I knew that I wanted to have a house pretty soon. So with the market being as good as it was, I was just always looking on the app, Zillow, apartments.com, whatever. I kept seeing these townhouses that I liked. So I was just looking at it. And one day we decided to just go look at them. So wasn't even planning on buying it. Wasn't planning on moving out anytime soon. But once we seen it, we just fell in love. It was the perfect size. Had everything we wanted, pool, so.
And I remember when he took me, he said it real casually. He was like, babe, I found this house, online. Let's go check it out. Now, we love to just go to $1 million homes.
Just look.
And just look. And just like, we call it like house watching. Just check it out. Just drive through different developments. It inspires us. It builds, I would say, ambition, and it just motivates us to keep moving forward and to keep saving money. And so when he said he wanted to go look at this house, I didn't really think too much of it because we do this all the time. But this time I noticed in particular, he was asking so many questions. Like, okay, we just had a baby. We're planning for a wedding. We're in a pandemic. We're both in school. Like, I'm like, what's going on here? And so I just remember him being so in love with this home. It was the perfect size. It was a brand new development. All of the homes are being built right now at this time. And like he said, the market was great. And one thing I want to add is that during this time, a lot of our friends around us were buying homes. My friend Lavi, you guys know Katrina just bought a home. My friend Brittany, my friend Jasmine, a lot of his friends are already homeowners. And I think since we were rubbing elbows with so many people who have just bought homes, we were so close.
Yeah, we knew it was coming.
To people that it didn't seem far-fetched. It didn't seem impossible. It didn't seem like a stretch for us to purchase our own because everyone around us was doing it. So I definitely think, especially once we became parents, hanging around other couples who were getting married, who were pursuing higher education, who were buying homes, I don't know, it just, how did that make you feel? It just
made me want to go ahead and do it too. The investment is something we always talk about. This is one of the biggest investments we're going to make, so I just wanted to jump right into it, and I guess that's what I did.
And so I remember when I met him, he would always say like, yeah, after this apartment, I'm definitely buying my first home. And then when I got pregnant, like I told you guys, he was like, yeah, once the baby's around 1, we're definitely going to be in our first home. So the fact that we did it and it's happening, I'm just super excited. But anyway, I don't want to go too far left. Okay, so we seen the house that day.
Yeah.
And what happened, babe?
We got home, we called one of our friends who's a real estate agent, kind of talked to him about it. He got some more information, and he was like, these houses are gonna go really fast. I've looked at these houses before for one of our houses to move into. We really liked it, and I think y'all should jump on it. Like, it wasn't no sales pitch or anything. He really was like, this is a really good home for a really good price. You should do it. And even though we just went and just looked at it, at this point it's like, oh, we have to jump on this. So now we're really thinking, okay, are we gonna do this? I mean, we have the bread. Are we really ready to move? But I feel like we just had to jump on the opportunity, and we did. We just took a leap on faith. So.
And so we had the bread, we had the credit, we had the savings, we had the income. It was kind of just, there was nothing in our way. There was no excuse. I think for the first time, because I'm not gonna lie, being transparent, guys, I was very, very scared. I was very scared. But again, we're talking to someone who's been on his own since 18, to someone who has literally never left home, never really paid real bills. And so the only thing that made me really happy is that we're both extremely responsible financially. We have a lot in savings. And then when we sat down that same day, we did the numbers, and we just did the math. We would be able to live off of one income just in case, you know, life happens. And so once DC sat down with me, and he was like, look, with my income will be just fine, with your income will be just fine. We both have this much in savings. Together we have this much in savings. You know, this is how much we have in our rainy day fund. This is how much we have in our emergency fund. Like, I had no excuse.
There was nothing stopping us.
At all, besides fear. And that was it. So it was literally just my emotions. And so I can tell that DC knew I was a little afraid. What do you think?
I think you were, but I knew it was because, one, your culture and your background, and the fact that you haven't done it before. It was something totally new. I think anybody's a little afraid of doing something they've never done before. So
now, one thing that did make me feel good, and I swear this was God, and this is really what, like, I was very at peace about it. I always told myself I was not going to move out of my parents' house until I was finished school. Well, guys, how ironic. I received my graduation date. I literally have 4 courses left and I'm done. And so that was one thing. That was confirmation from God himself, because you guys know it's been a long time coming. And then the second thing, me and DC always discussed when we were pregnant, that it was very important for us to buy a home before we paid for a wedding. And so at first I was kind of throwing the wedding as an excuse, like, oh, we didn't have our wedding yet. We weren't able to celebrate with our family and friends. But then when I really think about it, we already agreed that buying a home was way more important than celebrating that covenant. Just to us. For some people, you guys may want to have a wedding and then go ahead and purchase a home, or maybe live in an apartment. You know, we don't knock anything, but that was just for us personally, especially because we had a child first. So I think it was important for us to have a home before we went ahead and spent money on essentially a party, if you're being honest. So you got approved.
Yeah, we reached out to the lender, got approved, and I think the very next day dropped the deposit off. And then I guess you can tell them about all the add-ons and the extras that we did.
Yes. So that day he was like, hey babe, I got approved for more than what the house is worth. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put down a deposit tomorrow. And so now I'm freaking out, because I'm like I'm just freaking out. I'm like, and so he can tell I was freaking out. So he was like, okay, let's go look at the house one more time. Because I'm like, this is such a big commitment, and how do we know that we really want to stay in this location, and da 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 da. And this is the first house that we've seen. And so we go and look at the house, and this is how he got me, y'all. We're walking through the house, and the lady starts throwing out the different upgrades that we can get. Y'all, I'm being petty. I'm literally writing a list of all the upgrades that I would want, like a extended island, a 7-foot shower, a fireplace. Like, I'm putting down everything that the lady could possibly say. When we sat down with the lady at the home, she asked me the list of upgrades that I would want, and I gave it to her, and she was like, oh, I can edit this out. You don't want me to throw numbers out, babe. But she was like, oh, it'll be an extra $7 grand. If you want to go ahead with the upgrades that your wife had picked her, blah, blah, blah. DC literally looks at me. He's like, okay, that's fine. They're almost like... So then he asked the lady, he was like, so what would be my total for the deposit? And she was like, oh, because of her upgrades, it will be an extra, was it an extra 7 grand? An extra 7 grand. DC says, okay, I'll be back by 3 o'clock today. And I was like, oh, he's dead ass. He's dead. Like, he's not playing any games. Like, he's gonna drop the bread. And so I remember driving back. Oh, sorry, my camera's okay. And so I remember us driving back, and he's so excited. He's like, yeah, babe, I'm gonna go to the bank. I'm gonna take out a check, you know, whatever, and I'm gonna come back at 3. And he literally did it. Yep. And for the first time, I think this was the first decision I ever made without my parents being transparent. And this was our first big investment as a family, big decision as a family. Our first huge like milestone and accomplishment as a family outside of our child, of course. And
it's going so fast. Like we did not expect them to be almost finished. So we go every weekend, something like that, and it's totally different every single time. Like now, even the upstairs and the downstairs is both complete. I think they just need to put the walls on. So that was just watching that whole process was kind of crazy. It was really exciting. And
it's so surreal just knowing that we'll be in our first home, the first people inside of our new home. I think I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to pick the upgrades and things that we've been doing now to get ready to become a homeowner. So for me personally, once a week, I've been trying to cook a new meal because your girl has to learn how to cook for my family. What about you, babe?
I'm just about thinking about like furnishing it, getting everything inside, what we're gonna do here, what we're gonna do there. That's probably the exciting part for me, and probably the toughest. Like it's a lot of stuff furnishing a new home. So,
and then it's kind of tough for us because our taste. One, we have to make sure it's not too girly but not too masculine at the same time. But then because we have a newborn, we have to make sure everything is still, you know, like the colors we pick or the material we choose, we have to make sure it's safe,
baby proof.
So that's been kind of challenging, but I'm sure we'll have some fun. But yeah, guys, so we have a closing date for our house. I have a graduation date. And life has just been happening. And for us, just in case you guys are wondering, you know, maybe we're not as consistent as we used to be. We're just working hard in our everyday life off the internet. We're just making sure, you know, with our careers offline, now buying a home, finishing up schools, furthering our education. Like we have so much going on off the internet that we're gonna try our best to bring you guys along as much as we can when we can. What can they look forward to, babe, in our new home as far as our content?
I think we mentioned doing daily vlogs, maybe. We are pondering on a podcast. I don't know. So I'll let Brittany tell you more about that one. Anything else?
Comment below and let us know the type of content you all would like to see from us moving forward. Would you all like a walkthrough of the house before we furnish it? What type of home content do you guys watch or enjoy here on YouTube?
Any advice from homeowners now? If you have any advice for us, please feel free to share.
Yeah, for sure. And we're just super excited, guys.
I feel the same. I'm just super excited for everything that's happened. Super blessed and super excited for everything to come. So a lot of plans, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and for those of you who have been harassing us about this wedding, once we move in our home, I promise we can go ahead and start wedding planning. We just knew for ourselves, you know, we had a couple of things we wanted to accomplish before we planned the wedding. The wedding was honestly like the least of our
worries.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because we're already a family and we'll already be in our home and stuff. So the wedding is coming, okay? The royal wedding is coming. Stay tuned. But like he said, we are thinking of daily vlogging once we get inside our new home. We're thinking of launching a podcast. So just comment below and let us know your thoughts. But we are so excited and we really appreciate you all being so supportive and congratulating us on Instagram. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram where we will have a bunch of behind the scenes footage on our stories. And yeah, so we're signing off. We love you guys so much.
Peace.